Hello, welcome. I hope your coffee is warm. Let's try to learn about Valgothoth and his house through his overlords, who oversee whatever happens in their shadowed and forsaken corners of Duskmourn. They alone possess powers you cannot imagine, and each commands their own dominion with eerie authority. The Overlords all are enchantment creatures because they have melted together with their places in the house. You could almost say that they are combined rooms. They also share the impending ability, showing how they gradually emerge from their rooms. Once you are in their domains, you can be certain to find the form of those Overlords before finding them themselves. And you can be sure that it will be terrifying. At the beginning of each end step, a time counter will be removed and you will feel how the Overlords are coming closer by their increased influence over your environment and your life. In a sense, it's impending doom. All Overlords have an ability when they enter or attack, showing how they indirectly influence more than attacking themselves, even though their bodies are impressive too. Let's visit them. Imagine stepping into the Mistmoors, where silence isn't just an absence of sound, but a living entity that wraps around your senses like a shroud. The Overlord of the Mistmoors rules this eerie realm with an unspoken authority. Travelers who dare set foot here speak of an overwhelming stillness, as if the world itself holds its breath in the Overlord's presence. The mist moves almost with purpose, forming long ghostly fingers that reach out, trailing across your skin and chilling you to the bone. But it's not just the environment that weighs down upon your soul. The Overlord, standing amidst this haunting expanse, appears to melt seamlessly with the surroundings. It is said that when the mists shift, revealing a towering silhouette with antlers that smolder like dying embers, your time is already up. Its eyes, 3 it seems, with one perched hauntingly above the right, see not just the world but through it, discerning every unspoken fear and hidden secret. The creation of the insect-like winged creatures upon its entry signals that the Overlord is aware of intruders. They act not just as extensions of its will, but as his sentinels, his eyes, ready to envelop the unwary in a dance of silent flight. Those who lose themselves in the swaying movement of these spectral harbingers often speak of feeling light-headed, as if the very air were conspiring to lull them into eternal sleep. The Mistmoors are never-ending grey plains with no sun and no sound, but somewhere around there, a door opens into the flood pits and water flows out to deafen those that hadn't heard for ages. These lands feature many unknowable creatures that defy comprehension, their forms twisting and shifting with an almost liquid fluidity. The atmosphere is thick with a damp, suffocating air that clings to the skin, amplifying every heartbeat. Here the soundscape is an ever-present threat. It's not just the echo of the water splashing or dripping, but the haunting rhythmic cadence of your own breathing. And when that breathing morphs into the echo of drowning, you know the Overlord or any of his minions might be near, its presence playing cruel tricks on the mind to make you feel like you are already drowning and you might as well give up. Often, they don't even come into play. High above these ceaselessly shifting waters floats the Overlord, a big horror made of living shadows that seems to pulse and undulate as if with their own heartbeat. These appendages emerge from its body, twisting and clawing at reality itself, but also from the books around him, and basically they could be coming from anywhere. The Overlord's form is riddled with embedded bookcases, filled with forbidden texts, whose pages whisper and flutter as if alive, promising forbidden truths that could shatter sanity. It doles out knowledge sparingly, each revelation accompanied by a cost. Curiosity becomes a deadly vice in this house, plunging victims into an abyss of obsession. The floodpits are ever flowing, except for places where they border the Boilerbug. Here the waters turn still, choked by the hands of the bug. In the Boilerbug, shadows are not just a concealment, but an entity with will. Every dark corner and cavern breeds horrors, whether tangible or the kind that nest in the mind. This realm is suffused with an inescapable sense of foreboding, where hope is a fool's delusion, quickly devoured by the ever-hungry darkness. Here, death is not an end but an ongoing state, one you might even wish for to be real, as the realm's scavengers feast until nothing is left to consume. The Overlord of the Boilerbug is a colossal entity born with the marrow of despair itself. Standing on its grotesque legs with taloned ends, it embodies the torment of lost hope. One of its 3 arms stretches through a bone cage fused above its visible ribcage, clutching remnants of broken oaths and the faintly glowing echoes of forgotten names. Between its 2 twisted leering heads sits a massive unblinking eye that cuts through the dark like a cold beacon, watching and waiting for any sign of resistance. Its influence brings back echoes of the past to haunt those who dare tread its domain, casting memories like chains to drag down the living. The Boilerbugs are still places without light, but when they start to reach the boiler bilges, light and flames pierce through to blind us just as well as the darkness did. The Boilerbugs did not want us to see. The boiler bilges want us to feel the dread of dangers, and yet we proceed. The boiler bilges embody peril that is as lethal as it is overt. Here, danger is not a lurking presence, but a bold, aggressive force that revels in the thrill of pursuit and your fear. The environment is a cacophony of grinding metal, searing steam, and the sharp hiss of pressurized pipes. Spiked walkways and molten metal flows make every step treacherous, while crazed assassins and berserk humans patrol the labyrinthine corridors, eager for the next chase. This domain thrives on the palpable, almost tangible scent of fear, driving its inhabitants to announce themselves with sadistic pride before closing in. From the blazing core of this mechanized hell rises the Overlord of the boiler bilges, a massive horror forged from blistered iron and fused with scorching pipes that pulse with the heat of its molten core. Its body bristles with an array of limbs, some tipped with razor-sharp claws, others expelling flames or spinning with jagged blades. Each movement is a symphony of a metallic groan and hissing steam, punctuated by the Overlord's roar, a deep metallic bellow that reverberates through the foundations of the boiler bilges, shaking even in the most fortified structures. This creature's power lies not just in its overwhelming strength, but in the psychological terror it incites as it readies its brutal attacks. As the boundary between the boiler bilges and the Hauntwoods approaches, the change is striking. The iron and flame give way to the sudden suffocating presence of life. The transition is jarring, a clash between the sterile, mechanical dread of the bilges and the chaotic, feral vitality of the woods. On Duskmourn, this shift signifies more than a change in scenery. It's a shift from overt threats of industry to the covert patient menace of nature's hunters. The Hauntwoods are a realm where primal survival instincts reign supreme in a way, and also they don't. Here, creatures have shed any semblance of civility and reverted to their most feral states. The dense shadowed trees intertwine to form a canopy that seems to trap the night itself, casting everything below into perpetual twilight. This place is raw and unforgiving, a manifestation of nature that is broken free from any recognizable order, even from nature itself. The Hauntwoods challenge every assumption about what is safe and familiar, replacing certainty with an ever-present sense of being watched and haunted. Amidst this living maze stands the Overlord of the Hauntwoods, a towering entity cloaked in an expansive shroud that drapes and shifts like living bark. Its limbs are long and sinewy, resembling twisted branches, and its masked visage appears disconnected from the rest of its form, as if floating in defiance of a natural law. The Overlord's presence disorients the senses, bending reality to make even the most grounded intruder feel untethered. To encounter it is to lose yourself, not just physically but existentially. Its power lies in its ability to envelop and transform those it touches, binding them to the fabric of the Hauntwoods, where they become another lost spirit wandering eternity through everywhere. The Overlord's goal is not just simple predation, it seeks to dissolve the boundaries of identity and space. You become part of the forest, existing everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. The woods echo with the quiet rustle of unseen creatures, each movement a reminder that you are now part of this relentless green nightmare. The edge of the Hauntwoods leads back to the Mistmoors, where the ghostly light draws both beast, intruder, and you, beckoning them to witness the Overlords they should never have sought. Anyways, thanks for watching.